Hey, welcome back to Adult Brain. This sample is THOUGHTFORMS by Annie Besant, narrated by the magical Joe Rupe himself. What do ideas look like? This clairvoyant view of the shape, color, and atmospheric effect of mental energy tries to convey a graphic representation of the power of thought. Prominent Theosophists Annie Besant and C.W. Leadbeater were pioneers in asserting that thoughts are indeed things. Originally released in 1901, THOUGHTFORMS is a seminal work on what thoughts look like. It had an impact far beyond the circle of its primary readers, and greatly influenced leading artists such as Piet, Mondrian, and Wassily, Kandinsky. Simple in style and clearly written, THOUGHTFORMS is a classic of the theosophical tradition that has as much to say in our own day as it did a century ago. It lucidly sets forth a way to conceive of the invisible realms within and around us, with implications both of how we view the world and how we act in it. Discussion includes the meaning of color, thought forms built by music, and the nature of helpful thoughts. Based on the author's clairvoyant vision, its illustrations suggest the form thoughts take in relation, for instance, to anger, fear, intellect, sympathy, devotion, and a meditative state. Annie Besant herself describes the book's purpose as being to serve as a striking moral lesson to every reader, making him realize the nature and power of his thoughts, acting as a stimulus to the noble and a curb to the base. With this belief and hope, we send it on its way. Enjoy this little excerpt. You can find this full book and all of our other books at adultbrain.ca or go directly to Audible or Apple Books. Thanks for listening, and please like and subscribe and give us a good review on Audible.
How the vibration acts. These radiating vibrations, like all others in nature, become less powerful in proportion to the distance from their source, though it is probable that the variations in the proportion to the cube of the distance instead of to the square because of the additional dimension involved. Again, like all other variations, these tend to reproduce themselves whenever opportunity is offered to them, and so whenever they strike upon another mental body, they tend to provoke it in their own rate of motion. That is, from the point of view of the man whose mental body is touched by these waves, they tend to produce in his mind thoughts of the same type as that which had previously arisen in the mind of the thinker who sent forth the waves. The distance to which such thought waves penetrate and the force and persistency with which they impinge upon the mental bodies of others depend upon the strength and clearness of the original thought. In this way, the thinker is in the same position as the speaker. The voice of the latter sets in motion waves of sound in the air which radiate from him in all directions and convey his message to all those who are within hearing, and the distance to which his voice can penetrate depends upon its power and upon the clearness of his enunciation. In just the same way, the forceful thought will carry very much further than the weak and undecided thought. But clearness and definiteness are even greater importance than strength. Again, just as the speaker's voice may fall upon heedless ears where men are already engaged in business or in pleasure, so may a mighty wave of thought sweep past without affecting the mind of the man, if he already be deeply engrossed in some other line of thought. It should be understood that this radiating vibration conveys the character of the thought, but not its subject. If a Hindu sits wrapped in devotion to Krishna, the waves of feeling which pour forth from him stimulate devotional feelings in all those who come under their influence, though in the case of the Mohammedan that all devotion is to Allah, while for the Zoroastrian is to Ahura Mazda, or for the Christian is to Jesus. A man thinking keenly upon some high subject pours out from himself variations which tend to stir up thought at a similar level in others, but they in no way suggest to others the special subject of his thought. They naturally act with special vigor upon those minds already habituated to vibrations of similar character. Yet they have some effect on every mental body upon which they impinge, so their tendency is to awaken the power of higher thought in those to whom it has not yet become accustomed. It is thus evident that every man who thinks along high lines is doing missionary work, even though he may be entirely unconscious of it.